All right, we're with Christine Ohlman today, and Christine is the adopted daughter of Muscle Shoals Music. And how did we get into this position?
I think about 5 years ago, I was in New Orleans visiting and doing some work, and my friend Kim Stovall, who works with Paul Thorne, singer from Tupelo, Mississippi, she said, Paul Thorne is up here, and I believe it was the Handy Festival, and she said, he was playing at doing a big club venue. She said, why don't you see if you can come up and do a song with him? And I did, and while I was here I met some people and started to correspond with some people. Then I came back and played a gig in the fall. I sat in with the Decoys. I remember it was the fall because the cotton was in bloom. It was in September, I think. And I loved them so much, we began to talk about maybe coming down myself for the Handy Festival. So last year, in 2011, I came down and I did a gig at Swampers with a couple of the Decoys that sat in with me, that were kind enough to sit in with me. And this year they booked a bigger venue for me, and the full band of the Decoys came on, and for the benefit of the Muscle Shoals Music Association. So it's kind of been a progression. I'm so honored and moved, really, by the way everyone has welcomed me.
It is amazing how well you fit in with the Decoys.
I think it's just because I know the music deeply. I've sung it my whole life, and I'm so glad to be with a group of musicians who play it so well from their hearts, because they've always played it.
Okay. Well, you said when did you first start singing?
Well, I started singing when I was about 5, tormenting my family. You know, we always had to be a show. My brother and I had our first band, a little garage band, when I was 16 and he was 15. Okay. So that was officially when I started.
And you're from New York City?
I was born in the Bronx. I was brought up in Connecticut near New Haven. And now, of course, because I work on Saturday Night Live, I spend my time between Connecticut and New York.
Okay. And how did you get the Saturday night gig?
Well, it's a little bit of a long, it's not that long of a story. To tell the whole thing, it's take me a minute. The band leader at the time was a guy named G.E. Smith, the guitar player. He and I had a band in Connecticut called the Scratch Band. We'd made a couple of records together. He called me up out of the blue because I used to make mixtapes, and the mixtapes were always all about Southern soul, deep Southern soul. He called me up and he said, we have a gig we need you to do. We need a singer. Do you want to come on and do it? And we'll do some of those songs from the tapes you've been sending me. So of course I was excited. They wrote beautiful arrangements, things like How Can I Put Out the Flame by Candy Staton, the B-side. Very obscure. He Made a Woman Out of Me, Betty LaVette, mostly from vinyl. And the gig turned out to be the wedding reception for Lorne Michaels' second marriage out in the Hamptons in Long Island. We went, we played the gig, we had a great time, everybody was there, Jack Nicholson, everybody was there. I came home the next week, and it was the beginning of the season for Saturday Night Live in September. The first show came, and Lorne walked up to the bandstand and said to G.E. Smith, "Where's the girl?" And G.E. said, "What do you mean, where's the girl?" And he said, "Where's the girl that was with you last at the wedding?" And G.E. said, "Well, she was only with us for the wedding." And Lorne said, "No, she was great. Call her up and get her to come back." So I always tell people I got it from a wedding gig. It was from a wedding gig, a high-class wedding gig, but nevertheless a wedding gig. Yeah.
Okay, what is the average day like for Christine?
Depending on what I'm doing. Sometimes it involves travel, obviously. Always involves some music. I have a Christine Ohlman and Rebel Montez, the band that I have 6 CDs with. There's always a lot of work to do for that. I do some of the booking myself. I have 2 other agents I work with. I teach voice, so if it's on Monday, I'm teaching voice to some individual students that I have. And it's a variety of things, but it's always wrapped up in music, which is my life.
Is there a difference between Christine Ohlman and Christine Ohlman on stage? The persona?
Maybe a little bit. I think as time goes on, you know, I think they merge. I try to be a person first, and I've always I think that's important, is to be a person first, and then an artist. I try to keep my thing together all the time. I'm not a big drinker or anything like that. I think so. It really is kind of easy for me to just slip between one and the other. I try to be respectful of people and the people I work with, so maybe there isn't that much difference. As I think as the years have gone on, they have kind of merged. But my quiet side does include things like gardening, and of course I can't do that on stage. And I do let my hair down when I garden.
And where do you see the future?
Well, I'll be working on a new record this year. I also appear on a couple of important records that are coming out this year. With my friend Andrew Lou Goldham, who produced the Rolling Stones. I appear on a retrospective of some of his stuff. And Ian Hunter's new record. I have a very active association also in the rock and roll world, besides in the soul music world. So I do kind of cross over that line, you know. And also a new record myself, which is tentatively titled The Grown Up Thing, and it's a song that I performed with the Decoys the other night, the song The Grown Up Thing. And just in general, people are always offering me projects, so it's a question of which ones I think are the most soulful. I'm always trying to feed my own soul, you know. I'll be very frank and honest about that, you know, so I don't do anything unless I really feel it.
Okay. Is any thoughts of becoming a damn Yankee rather than just a Yankee?
Well, I love coming down here.
Okay.
You know that. You know that. Anybody that, I'm sure everybody can see it, you know. I love coming down here. I'll hope to be down here certainly before the next Handy Festival, without question.
We're waiting to see you.
Thank you so much.